There is a quiet disaster happening in the world today. It does not make the news, it does not break hearts loudly, but it breaks potential silently. It is the disaster of small goals. Most people do not fail because they aim too high and miss. They fail because they aim too low and hit, and the tragedy is they think that is success. They tell themselves they are doing fine, they are surviving, they are keeping up, but what they do not realize is that survival is not the same as living. When a man sets a goal he can reach without effort, without stretching, he may gain comfort, but he loses capacity. He may win a small prize, but he loses the bigger purpose. The quiet disaster is not the storm of failure, it is the calm of complacency. It is when you reach the top of a small hill and convince yourself it is a mountain. I have met people who had everything organized, a neat job, a steady income, predictable days, yet they felt an emptiness inside. Nothing was wrong, yet nothing was alive. That is the cost of small thinking. When your goals no longer challenge you, your spirit begins to shrink. My mentor once told me, Jim, do not set your goals too small. If you reach a small goal, you will stop growing. But if you reach for a great goal, even if you fall short, you will grow in the process. He was right. The real purpose of a goal is not what you get, it is who you become in pursuit of it. Because when you stretch for something just beyond your ability, something inside you expands. You begin to grow into a larger version of yourself. When I was a young man working on a farm in Idaho, I thought all I needed was enough money to pay my bills and stay out of trouble. I thought that was success, keeping the lights on and avoiding the ditch. But one day my mentor, Mr. Schoaf, asked me a question that changed everything. He said, Jim, what are your goals? I told him the usual: to make a living, to be comfortable, to have enough. He smiled and said, that is not enough. Your goals need to be bigger than your problems. That one sentence been living goal to goal, not vision to vision. My goals were the size of my fears, the size of my doubts, the size of my paycheck. I was measuring my future by my present. And when you do that, life never grows beyond your imagination. The first lesson I learned was never set a goal that only fits your current life. Set a goal that demands a better version of you. If you can reach your goal without sacrifice, without growth, without change, it is not a goal. It is a chore. Real goals stretch your heart, your mind, your faith, your skills. They make you trade excuses for excellence. And if your goal does not scare you a little, it is probably too small. Now, I am not saying that small steps are wrong. We all start small, but starting small and staying small are two different things. The danger comes when small becomes permanent, when a person says, this is all I will ever do, this is all I will ever be. That is when the quiet disaster begins. The human spirit was not designed for stagnation, it was designed for expansion. A tree does not stop growing because the soil is hard, it keeps reaching for the light. A river does not stop flowing because there are rocks, it curves around them. Nature keeps moving, only humans stop growing by choice. If life feels dull, it is not because life has lost meaning, it is because your goals have lost stretch. Big goals do something remarkable. They reorganize your energy, they pull you forward, they wake you up in the morning with purpose. Small goals let you coast, big goals make you climb, and climbing changes you. When I began to set bigger goals, I found that the journey was more rewarding than the achievement itself, because every obstacle forced me to become more disciplined, more creative, more patient. The mountain made the man. So I ask you, what mountain are you climbing, or have you been walking in circles at the base, convincing yourself you are moving because you are busy? Activity is not progress, motion is not momentum. You can spend your life being busy and still end up nowhere if you never stretch beyond comfort. Comfort is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. The difference between a winner and a drifter is simple. A winner sets goals that demand effort. A drifter sets goals that guarantee safety, but safety has never created greatness. Every successful person I have met had one thing in common: they aimed higher than they thought they could reach, and in aiming higher, they became more than they imagined. You do not find success by lowering the bar to your doubts, you find it by raising yourself to your vision. So raise the bar, do not lower your dream to match your present. Raise your discipline to match your future vision, because life does not give you what you want, it gives you what you deserve, and what you deserve is shaped by the standards you set. If you want more, you must become more, and the first step to becoming more is to stop accepting less. The real purpose of a goal is not the thing you get, it is the person you become along the way. Most people think that success is about getting the house, the car, the promotion, or the applause, but those are only symbols, they are not the substance, because when you reach the goal, what remains with you is not the trophy, but the transformation. What good is a new home if you are still the same person who doubted you deserved it? What good is money if you are still Ruled by fear, what good is recognition? If you have not learned the discipline that makes it last, you see, the goal is the classroom and life is the teacher. It is not the prize that builds you, it is the process that shapes you. When you set a goal that demands growth, you begin to uncover abilities that were hidden inside you. You start to realize that there is more strength, more creativity, and more potential within you than you ever knew. It is like striking a rock until the spark appears. At first nothing happens, you hit and see no result, but deep inside the energy is building until one strike changes everything. That is how growth works, unseen at first and then unstoppable when it arrives. I remember when my mentor told me, Jim, you do not get paid for the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to the hour. That single idea opened my eyes, because most people measure their time by the clock, not by their contribution. They think in terms of hours, not value. But when you begin to grow, when you begin to set bigger goals, your value increases. And when your value increases, everything in your life begins to expand. Income, influence, impact, it all follows the law of becoming. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. That is why the purpose of a goal is not to get something, but to become someone. If your dream does not change you, it is not big enough, because every worthy goal requires a new version of you. When you chase comfort, you stay the same, but when you chase growth, you must let go of who you were yesterday to become who you must be tomorrow. This is where most people stop. They like the idea of success, but they dislike the process of change. They want the reward, but not the requirement. They want the mountaintop without the climb, but the top of the mountain does not make the climber, it reveals him. The climb makes him. That is why I always say, set a goal so big that it will make you better just by trying to reach it. The magic is not at the destination, the magic is in the journey. Some people say, I will be happy when I get there, but let me tell you something, if you are not happy on the way, you will not be happy when you arrive. Happiness is not found in achievement, it is created by alignment. When your daily actions align with your highest purpose, you begin to feel alive again. Success is not a place you reach, it is a person you become. You may not have control over what happens in the world, but you have control over what happens within you. That is where goals do their deepest work. They train your focus, they sharpen your habits, they give direction to your days and meaning to your struggles. They turn pain into progress and effort into evolution. When you set a worthy goal, you begin to rise above the noise. The world will still be loud, there will still be distractions, disappointments, and doubts, but you will move with a quiet certainty because you know why you are doing what you are doing. That clarity becomes your compass in the storm. While others chase approval, you chase purpose. While others settle for average, you reach for excellence. While others are confused by failure, you are refined by it, because you know every challenge is part of your becoming. The man who earns $1 million without growing will soon lose it, but the man who becomes a millionaire in character and discipline and vision will keep creating success over and over again, because his results come from who he has become, not just what he has done. That is the true wealth of achievement. So the next time you set a goal, do not ask, what will I get? Ask, who will I become if I chase this? If the answer excites you, if it stretches you, if it humbles you, then you have found a goal worth pursuing, because the greater the goal, the greater the growth, and the greater the growth, the greater the life. The secret is simple. Do not work harder on your job than you do on yourself. Your job will make you a living. Your personal growth will make you a life, and that life will be built not by chance, but by choice. The choice to keep growing, to keep learning, to keep becoming. When you understand that truth, everything changes. Your fears lose their power, your failures lose their sting, because you realize they are not the end, they are simply part of your education, the education of becoming. So do not chase success, chase growth. Do not chase comfort, chase challenge. Do not chase applause, chase alignment. And when you do that, success will begin to chase you, because you have become the kind of person who attracts it, not by luck, but by law. Most people drift through life without a written plan. They live by chance, not by choice, and they wonder why things never seem to change. A written goal is the first step to designing your life, because what is not written is soon forgotten. The mind is a wonderful servant, but a poor master. It must be directed with clarity and intention. When you write a goal, you give form to a dream. You take what was invisible and make it visible. You take a thought and turn it into a target. A written goal is a contract between your present and your future. It is you saying to yourself, this is who I intend to become. A goal written on paper has power. It speaks to your mind all day and to your heart all night. It keeps whispering, remember why you started, remember who you promised to become. Every great achievement began with a pen and a decision. It does not matter how big or small your start is. What matters is that you start with direction, because without direction even speed becomes dangerous. You can run fast in the wrong direction and end up nowhere faster. A written goal keeps you on course. It reminds you of your true north. When I first began to study success, my mentor said, Jim, get a journal and write down everything you want to be, do, and have. At first I thought it was too simple, but later I understood the power of it. Writing forces you to think, and thinking is what separates drifting from designing. Most people wish for things they never define. They say, I want to be successful, but they never ask, what does success mean to me? They say, I want to be rich, but they never write how much, by when, and for what purpose. Without definition, dreams dissolve into dust. Writing your goals creates accountability. Once it is written, it becomes real. It stares back at you and says, now what will you do about it? It demands action, it demands discipline, and it demands consistency. A written goal has energy. It pulls you toward it even on the days when you do not feel like moving. That is why successful people keep their goals in sight. They write them, review them, revise them, and live by them. They treat their goals like living companions, not distant fantasies. There is a simple principle: what gets written gets done. The act of writing builds belief. It programs your subconscious mind to find ways to achieve what you have declared. It sends a message to the universe to align people, places, and possibilities to your purpose. But it all begins with one simple action: put it in writing. Some people say, I keep my goals in my mind, but the problem with that is the mind forgets the paper remembers. A goal written is a goal anchored. When life gets noisy and the days get heavy, that piece of paper becomes your lighthouse. It guides you back to focus. It reminds you why you cannot quit, why you cannot settle, why you must continue. You can have the same 24 hours as the most successful people on earth, but the difference is direction. A written plan turns ordinary time into extraordinary progress. It tells your mind where to go each morning. It gives your day a mission instead of motion. Think of it like a builder who would never begin construction without a blueprint. If he did, the result would be chaos. Yet that is how most people live. They wake up without a plan and hope that something good will happen, but hope is not a strategy. A written goal is. So start with clarity. Write down what you want in every area of life: health, wealth, relationships, learning, contribution, happiness. Do not worry if your writing is not perfect. Just write it from the heart, because clarity is not found before writing. It is found during writing. When you write, you think deeper, you see further, and you begin to realize what truly matters. Now, do not just write it once and forget it. Goals are living things. They must be revisited, reviewed, and refined. The more you look at them, the more they look back at you. The more you read them, the more you believe them. Belief grows by repetition, and repetition creates conviction. Conviction creates action, and action creates change. And here is another secret: write why you want it, because reasons make goals stronger. When the why is clear, the how becomes easier. The why fuels discipline on the hard days. When nothing seems to work, the why keeps the fire burning. The stronger your why, the longer you will last, and the greater you will grow. So take the time to write your goals, not just in words, but in emotion. Write them with feeling, not just intellect. Write until you can see it, until you can feel it, until your spirit starts to move toward it. Then read it every morning as a reminder of who you are becoming, and every night as a promise of where you are going. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction today. And that begins with a pen and a page, because if you do not design your own life, chances are someone else will, and their plans will not include your dreams. So write it, see it, believe it, and then go to work on it. The paper holds your dream, but your discipline brings it to life. And when you live by a written goal, you stop living by accident. You start living by design. Every vision needs habits to hold it in place. Dreams without discipline fade like smoke in the wind. Habits are the foundation on which great lives are built. You can wish for success, but if your daily habits do not match your vision, you will always live in conflict. The secret of greatness is not found in what you do once, it is found in what you do consistently. The small daily disciplines done over time turn ordinary people into extraordinary performers. Habits are the bridge between goals and results. Without them, even the best plans remain on paper. When I started learning from my mentor, he said, "Jim, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day, and failure is nothing more than a few small errors in judgment repeated every day." That truth hit me hard because I realized success and failure are not events, they are directions. Every action, every choice, every habit is leading you somewhere. The question is where. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction, and that happens the moment you change your habits, because habits shape your future long before the future arrives. Your habits today are creating the person you will be tomorrow. That is why I tell people, do not ask for an easier life, ask for better habits. The stronger your habits, the stronger your character, and the stronger your character, the higher you can rise. Most people overestimate motivation and underestimate discipline. Motivation gets you started, discipline keeps you going. Motivation fades when the excitement wears off, but discipline stays even when the feelings disappear. Discipline is the muscle that makes success predictable. It is the quiet power of doing what you should do even when you do not feel like it. A person who learns to master small habits can master big dreams, because habits compound, they multiply over time. One small habit of reading 10 pages a day becomes a library of knowledge. One habit of saving a little each day becomes financial freedom. One habit of gratitude each morning becomes a life filled with peace. Small disciplines create big destinies. But remember, bad habits also compound. One day of neglect becomes 2, then a week, then a month, and soon a life filled with regret. That is why every day matters, every action matters, because habits are like seeds, they grow silently while you sleep, and soon they take root deep in your character. If you want to predict your future, look at your daily habits, not your hopes. Your habits tell the truth about your direction. If you want to change your life, change something you do daily, because success is not something you chase, it is something you attract by the person you become, and habits are what shape that person. Now here is something important. Discipline is not punishment, it is the highest form of self-respect. It means you care enough about your future to act with intention in the present. It means you love yourself enough to say no to what weakens you and yes to what strengthens you. Every time you choose discipline, you build confidence, and confidence builds momentum. People often say, "Jim, it is hard to stay disciplined," and I tell them, yes, it is hard, but so is regret, and the difference is discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. You can carry discipline with pride, but regret will break your heart, so choose your hard discipline for a season or regret for a lifetime. Build habits that serve your vision, not your emotions. Do not wait for the mood to strike, because moods change, but habits remain. Habits do not care if you are tired or sad or bored, they simply ask, what are we trained to do? And then they do it. That is why you must train your habits before your emotions train you. Start small, but start strong. Choose one habit that aligns with your vision. Maybe it is waking early, reading daily, or exercising consistently. Do it until it becomes part of you, then add another and another. Soon your life will begin to shift, not by luck, but by design, because your habits will be pulling you toward your vision automatically. You do not need to change everything at once, you just need to start somewhere. One new habit, one small victory, and one consistent step every day, because success is not built in a day, it is built every day. Discipline is not an act, it is a lifestyle. And remember, your habits are not just about what you do, they are about who you are becoming. Every choice you make casts a vote for the kind of person you wish to be, so choose wisely, because each small decision is shaping your identity. So build habits that match your vision, habits that reflect your highest self, habits that move you closer to your dream, even on the days when the dream feels far away, because if your habits are right, your future will take care of itself. The secret of success is not in extraordinary effort, it is in ordinary effort done consistently over time. That is how the great separate themselves from the average. They do the simple things every day without fail, while others do them only when it is easy. So ask yourself, what habits do I need to build to deserve my dream? What disciplines do I need to practice to protect my vision? And then commit to them fully, because when your habits align with your vision, nothing can stop you, not circumstance, not criticism, not failure, because your habits have already built the strength within you to rise again. Success without character is a short story. It shines bright for a moment and then disappears into the dark, because achievement can make you rich, but only character can make you whole. The true test of greatness is not how high you climb, but how well you carry the weight that comes with the climb. Success creates pressure, it creates attention, it creates responsibility. And if your character is not strong enough to hold what you have built, then what you built will collapse on top of you. The goal is not just to build wealth, but to build wisdom, not just to gain power, but to gain purpose, because life will always test what it gives you. When you earn more, the test is generosity. When you lead more, the test is humility. When you are praised, the test is integrity. Character is what passes those tests. Many people chase success so hard that they forget to grow their soul. They spend years trying to build a life that impresses others while neglecting the inner work that sustains real joy. But here is the truth: success without peace is failure in disguise. Success without principles is destruction in slow motion. My mentor once told me, Jim, do not just become a man of success, become a man of value. Success will bring you money, but value will bring you meaning, and meaning is what keeps you grounded when the storms of life arrive, because storms will come. They test every structure, they shake every foundation, and only those built on character will stand. You see, the balance of achievement and character is the key to a fulfilled life. Achievement brings applause, but character brings respect. Achievement opens doors, but character keeps them open. Achievement is about what you do. Character is about who you are. One is visible, the other invisible, but both are essential. When you reach a level of success, the world will look at you differently. Some will admire you, some will envy you, some will doubt you, but what matters is how you look at yourself, because fame is borrowed, reputation is temporary, but character is permanent. It is what you carry when everything else is taken away. Character is built in quiet moments when no one is watching. It is formed in the small choices, the honest word, the kept promise, the humble act of doing what is right when it would be easier to do what is convenient. It grows every time you choose integrity over image, purpose over pleasure, and truth over popularity. The higher you rise, the more important your foundation becomes. A skyscraper cannot stand on weak ground. The taller it grows, the deeper its base must be. That is how life works. As your success grows, your need for strength grows too. Your vision demands stability, your influence demands responsibility, and your legacy demands humility. True balance comes when your ambition and your ethics walk hand in hand, when you refuse to sacrifice who you are for what you want, when you understand that how you achieve matters more than how fast you achieve. That is the balance of a wise man, the harmony of achievement and character. The world will always tempt you to take shortcuts, to trade patience for popularity, to choose comfort over conviction, but those trades cost too much. They steal the very thing that makes success meaningful, because it is better to lose with honor than to win with shame. It is better to wait with faith than to rush with fear. When you live with character, your success becomes stable, your words carry weight, your influence becomes genuine. People trust you because they can feel your truth. They know you are not pretending, you are consistent, real, dependable, and that is the greatest compliment a human being can receive. And here is something most never realize: character itself is a form of wealth. It cannot be stolen, it cannot be spent, it grows every time it is used. When you operate with honesty, discipline, kindness, and courage, the universe begins to trust you with more opportunities because it knows you can handle them. So work as hard on your character as you do on your career. Guard your integrity like treasure, because once it is lost, it takes years to rebuild. Live in such a way that your success makes noise, but your humility speaks louder than your achievements, because the goal is not just to make a living, but to make a difference, and that difference begins with who you are inside. Achievement can open doors, but character builds bridges. Achievement can earn applause, but character earns loyalty. And in the long run, it is not your title or your trophies that will define you. It is your truth, your principles, your inner strength that will stand the test of time. So aim high, work hard, dream big, but never forget to build deeper, because the higher your tower, the stronger your roots must be. And those roots are honesty, humility, gratitude, respect, and love. When you build on those, nothing can shake you. Success is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. Let it serve your purpose. Do not let it rule your peace. Let it expand your ability to give, not your ego to take. That is how you balance a